Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Moppert here, joined with our Sabres and NHL Insider Paul Hamilton. Paul, thanks for being with us today.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
Of course, been a little while that we've done this together, but the Sabres they're back from the All-Star break, and in the locker room, at practice these past couple of days, we've heard that there's a new sense of urgency. Not that we haven't heard this one before, but players saying that they really have a chance to do something with this 4-game home stretch that they have over at the KeyBank Center. One game already down under their belt. Dallas Stars on Tuesday night. That game obviously didn't go necessarily as planned.
They had the sense of urgency. They had 48 shots on goal against one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen had a great game. The Stars are the third best scoring team in the league. They only scored 2 on them. So you're thinking, you're at home, only gave up 2 goals. You have 48 shots. You're flying. You're going to be fine. They didn't get any points out of that game. They didn't win. And that's been a problem for them that, they did play with urgency. Yes, they did produce many, many scoring opportunities. But at the end, they let a goaltender beat them again. They couldn't score when they had the opportunities, and I could sit here and name you probably 12 golden opportunities that they had at least, just off the top of my head. And it's the second time in 3 weeks they've done this. They lost 1-0 to the Vancouver Canucks. Again, Luukkonen was great. They played very, very well and left with no points. And the home record has been a huge problem for them. Last year, they were 27th in the league. Their points percentage was .463. This year, guess what? They're 27th in the league, and their points percentage is .460. That's 2 years running. That's not a fluke. If it just happens one year, maybe it's a fluke. That's 2 years in a row now that they cannot win hockey games at home. That is a huge problem. You're not going to make the playoffs or be a championship team when you're one of the worst teams at home.
Right, and you think about playing at home, this is a time for you to thrive as a team, show your fans why, they should be there supporting you, bring them back. They always say, earn your fans. So definitely one of their more frustrating losses, you could say.
And I feel that's a great statement because I feel they're starting to lose their fans again. I thought last year they made some inroads in getting some of their fans back. And there were times I think fans go, you know what? I like this game. I'm going to come back and try another game and come back. And I thought they were starting to win their fans back. And quite honestly, I think that's gone now. I think they've lost a lot of the base that was starting to come back because of what's happened this year.
And a lot of that, too, you think about hot streaks, right? And that's really where you pull people back in. And last year they went on 5. I think, I'm not sure what the best streak that they had last year was exactly, but this year, we're getting to 2. And then can they get a third? No. And again, 4-game home stretch, they say they have this new sense of urgency. They have this opportunity in front of them, and then you can't come out with the win at home. So 3 more to go at home over at the KeyBank Center. But Paul, another thing I just wanted to touch on is, you talked a little bit earlier about, how critical of just that Vancouver game and losing by just 1 goal. What's the perspective, or can you put that into perspective, where they're 10 points out right now versus just 2 wins, where that would put them?
Well, think about that. They're 10 points out. Just win 2 games that were absolutely there for you. You dominated. All you needed was 2 goals against Vancouver, and you get a win. 1 goal to get 1 point. 2 goals to get 2. You just needed to get 3 goals against Dallas, and you get another win. How much different is the conversation you and I are having right now if they were 6 points out instead of 10? Our conversation would be totally different. They'd be closer to those teams they have to leapfrog. They'd be closer to the playoff spot. 6 points doesn't sound so bad, does it? 10 points sounds a lot more daunting than 6 points does. And that's the problem. All we're talking about is 2 games. We're not even talking about any of the rest of them that could have gone your way or even gone against you. And that's been a problem for them. And you waste very good goaltending from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. When he plays like that, you got to get points. Any goalie, whether it's Comrie, Levi, Luukkonen, if your goaltender plays like that, you got to win hockey games. And they just cannot, no matter what they do or how they try, they cannot on a consistent basis get the puck in the net.
Right, and like you said, I mean, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he's been established as their #1 goaltender right now. You know, Granato actually said that for the first time. You have Levi down in Rochester, and yet you can't do this while he's playing at this kind of level. So that is definitely something that was a problem in the past, and now it's not being taken advantage of. So the other topic, Paul, that I wanted to talk a little bit about, Mattias Samuelsson, we heard that now he's out for the season. Jack Quinn, his injury was made official, 6 to 8 weeks. Good news is that it wasn't necessarily his Achilles, but, you know, 2 pretty big blows as now, again, they try and look to make a run. What was your initial take maybe when you found out that news?
Well, they were playing so well defensively since December 30th. They were 3rd in the league defensively. Samuelsson was a part of that. Dalene was a part of that. Power was a part of that, improving. And with Samuelsson out the last game, I thought Rasmus Dalene was fantastic. That is the player that with the Sabres need. He played over 29 minutes, which means he was approaching playing half the game. He created scoring opportunities. He missed 2 golden opportunities to score himself and got very frustrated with himself. But I thought all over the ice, in every zone, he was elite. And we haven't seen a lot of the elite Rasmus Dalene, which is part of their team. Part of the makeup of their core is Rasmus Dalene has to be elite. And so with Samuelsson out, I think him getting the extra ice time, instead of playing 23, 25 minutes, he played 29. And I think he thrived. Absolutely thrived. So it's not good news that somebody got hurt,
right.
But the good news that we saw was Rasmus Dalene was back at least for 1 game.
But then what about you look at Jack Quinn and how his return has really amped up a lot of the guys out on the ice, one of them being Dylan Cousins, and we're kind of seeing him come out of his shell this season a lot later than expected. But, I mean, how do you maybe foresee him now without Jack? I mean, he'll eventually come back, but for the time being.
He was fantastic in that game, and so was Peterka. With Benson on that line, they didn't miss a beat for that game. There was a time in the first period where Benson brought the puck out, scoring opportunity there. Peterka got the rebound, missed the net, and then they set up Peterka in the slot. In one shift, they had 3 golden opportunities that they produced by working hard. I mean, at least we weren't talking about a team that wasn't working hard or wasn't competing. They were competing. And they had plenty of scoring chances. So at least for 1 game, I thought Zach Benson filled in very well. In that first period, I think there was 1 shift that I can remember that they didn't spend the whole time in the offensive zone producing chances.
Right, and Granato did say that Benson is the guy that they foresee kind of trying to fill that role. So again, one of the many reasons why that was a very frustrating loss at home, their first of 4 home games. And then tomorrow will be their second at 12:30 over at the KeyBank Center against the St. Louis Blues. But for now, thank you, Paul. For Paul Hamilton, I'm Lindsay Moppert. We'll see you next time.